The House of Representatives has ordered the Minister of Finance, Olusegun Aganga, to appear before it on Thursday to explain why funding for capital projects has averaged only 30% 2 months to the end of the year. The lawmakers on Wednesday said the minister must offer the explanations before the general session of the House and not a specific committee, as is usually the case. House Minority Leader Mohammed Ndume, who moved the motion, said one of the reasons is that the contractors handling the project have not been paid.
Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the fact that we, as representatives of our people, especially now, after getting to the end of 4 years, that we have to all go back to tell our people what we have done or the projects we have attracted for them. These projects are not there, or if they have started, they are not being completed. But our salaries have not stopped. The salary of those in the ministries have not stopped. But the work that is touching or will touch on the lives of generality has already stopped.
Members said, according to figures from offices in charge of various projects, funding for the huge recurrent expenditure, which annually saps federal revenues, have remained atop 70%, while those for capital projects stay between 10% and 30%.
Whereas if we look at the recurrent expenditure, without a question, all the monies budgeted for the 50th anniversary of independence must have been spent to the last kobo. But here we are in a situation where, and that was billions of naira, and gone away through the winds really, and you cannot even see anything tangible out of that, apart from the ties, the rubber bands on the hands and so on, that you see some people wearing. That is sad, really. And I think really the government should explain to the nation why this should continue.
The figures sparked outrage among members who condemned government's low spending on developmental projects and admitted that the criticisms have become routine yearly.
Can the federal government tell us why at the end of every year there's a cause to bring this issue for discussion? Mr. Speaker, over and above this immediate matter, we were just discussing the issue of foreign loans yesterday. And they were making sure that they get foreign loan when we have money for excess crude. And they share this money on quarterly basis to the states, the local governments and federal government. And these monies are never appropriated. All attempts to make sure that all monies are appropriated for has not worked. They are sharing this money on quarterly basis. We have appropriation act that is in place where it should be able to affect all the nooks and corners of this country. They have bluntly refused. Are we serving Nigerians or we're serving ourselves?
I want this honorable house to stop the ritual of just receiving annual appropriation. I want to bring an amendment to this application that the National Assembly should satisfy itself of the amount released and the extent of the implementation of the 2010 budget before it plans to receive the 2011 budget.
The Chairman House Committee on Finance, John Eno, was however of the view that the National Assembly should not take a hardline position against the executive.
Because of the issues and the problems involved with the pipelines and all that, it will take us some little bit of time to have the full gains of amnesty for it to be reflected in terms of the daily production of oil. That is the truth, Mr. Speaker. And I think, for example, I give you... Mr. Speaker, if you want information, I'll give you information. And that's what I'm doing. What I'm saying is that, Honorable Speaker, is that in terms of oil revenues, although we are selling more than the benchmark, the daily oil production is playing a trick in terms of realizing the full worth of our daily oil production.
In approving the order to suspend further appropriations and to summon the finance minister, The Deputy Speaker, Usman Nafada, said the benchmark for the budget was reached after the Petroleum Minister assured the National Assembly that government can comfortably produce 2.35 million barrels a day against 2.4 million proposed by the lawmakers. The House voted to refuse approval for next year's budget until the previous proposals have been satisfactorily executed. Rachel Owa for ITI.